Fantastic to see so many people here today. It's very encouraging for the future. I'd like to officially open Our Vision Ahead, Looking Back, Moving Forward, Visioning Summit. One of the things I'd really like to challenge you all on and get you thinking about is, what can we do next? Where to from here? How do we continue this dialogue and this conversation past this the Visioning Summit?
Our Vision Ahead, hundreds of people, we reckon getting up to 1,000 people, were asked 4 questions. What do we like? What are our concerns and challenges coming forward in the future? What is our vision? And we named 2030 as, what would be the perfect place? And what are ideas for action?
I have a real passion about retaining the village atmosphere to South Perth, the various cultural components of it. You can go down to Angelo's Street, Men's Street, Preston Street and always bump into somebody you know. And that's the village aspect I really like. On the other side of the coin, my background is very, very historical orientated.
I guess that I'd really like to see a community that works together, and I'd like to see one that includes all groups. To me, it's as though this group is kind of making decisions for, we're getting a viewpoint which is controlled by ethnicity, and it's also controlled by age, if you look around. And I would hope that we can take the next step and get everybody involved. And it's not easy.
So environment, how we manage our natural environment. This came through as a massive issue for a lot of people. Young people, old people, Aboriginal people, non-Aboriginal people, various ethnic groups. Everybody saw the environment as a really huge asset and a thing we must protect into the future. Places, the shared places that bring us together. How do we design and use our shared spaces? And that can include jetties, it can include town squares, it can include our streetscapes, it can include our heritage places, etc, etc, etc. Active citizenship. People like you get involved. Young people get involved. We had about 200 responses from young people in this, and opportunities are given for people to get involved. Places like Muditch get people involved in leadership, in self-determination of their own future. The vision, and I'll read the vision. We'll be living in accommodation that offers us all, whatever our stage of life and whatever our household size, a good place to call home. Our homes will in turn be in streetscapes that allow fulfilling, safe, healthy and connected lives. Our heritage will also be visible in our buildings and streetscapes. The way we design our streets and homes will accommodate and respond to the pressures of a growing population and an increasingly fragile global and local environment. It's nice. There's actually dilemmas built into that. The purpose of this next session is to explore what we'll need to do to achieve our vision.
My vision for the City of South Perth is to facilitate this process to enable those people in our broader community to come up with what it is they want for South Perth. And I suppose as a councillor, it's important for me to be involved in enabling people to come up with what it is they want, and hopefully we'll come out with some really solid ideas.
What can I do in the community? I can arrange a lot more community events, local barbecues to get a lot more people talking to each other, because my view for the future of the city is a place where people talk with each other.
I would like to support the 2 people down there on heritage and arts and culture, continue my involvement with that, and also to support the reconciliation plan for the City of South Perth, if there is one underway, and if there isn't, I hope there will be.
Well, first of all, I like the natural environment retained and enhanced as it is. That has been deteriorating since I've lived in the city, and The other thing is I'd like to see more people cycling, and I guess better cycling facilities might, when people come across a narrow road, I notice that a lot of people are a bit scared of cycling for safety reasons. Also like there to be facilities for children to play sport.
So really, this next bit is just a plenary session. We actually want to hear feedback from each of the groups quite briefly. And it's really our recommendations to the people of the City of South Perth, all those suburbs that make up the City of South Perth.
We're talking it around and not progressing and decided, well, if we had to make a decision, where would we put high density in South Perth? So we got out a Travel Smart map and we just marked out areas that we thought might be appropriate for that development.
The fourth one is improving residential water efficiency and conservation.
The second issue that was common to the discussion and came up in all sorts of ways was the east-west divide that we have, or are perceived to have, in the City of South Perth. There was a lot of feeling that most of the major development was happening up at Mill Point End. Main Street has certainly come up a lot, Richardson Park, etc. There was a lot of feeling that the other side of the city was missing out on stuff.
The other thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is we've heard a bit of stuff today said about reconciliation and working in partnership with Aboriginal people. And it's a really difficult thing to do because Aboriginal culture is existing underneath a predominant society that has very different values. I'm wondering how an area like South Perth, as part of Australia, can live out practical reconciliation and partnership with Aboriginal people.
My role, I believe, in this would be to shop locally and use local tradespeople so that we develop a sense of real community in South Perth.
So I feel that this is wonderful, and it's lovely to see the council being involved with its people, and that gives me great hope for the future.
I think if each of us infect our neighbours with what we've talked about today, it'll have an amazing flow-on effect. And I think each of us, if we can do this with a dozen people, will begin the process of change in our community.
I actually really enjoy living in South Perth now. It's a great place to live. It's a great community atmosphere, and really vision is to see more of that. It's keep it running, keep the same programs happening, maybe more emphasis on communication so that all ratepayers, no matter where they live in the suburb, are actually aware of what's going on, the key decisions that are happening, and that will start opening up some of those communication windows so that people can have the right opportunities to express concern, offer their own opinions, and enter the public arena with their opinions. And that's my vision. It's really more of what we've got. It's a great place to live.
Okay, so from where next? The first one is networks and what you can do personally in your own groups, in your own individually. You can do that now. Go out into the community, develop the capacity, got an idea, run with it. No one is stopping you. In fact, all of us in the room and everyone in the city is encouraging you to go and do something.